want to estimate the cost of the heat exchanger, but of a different area in different time. So you can see you have to scale. So in fact, we can just do this orally, right? So you're changing the area by a factor of, you're reducing it by a factor of 5, right? So the cost will go down by what?
5-ish.
5 to the power 0.6. Can somebody calculate that number?
3-ish.
Sorry? 2.6. So it will increase by 2.6, but then it will also increase. No, it will decrease by 2.6, but it will also increase because of the SEPC. So the SEPC values are they given here? No, 1996 and 2011. I guess you have to go back and look at the ratio of SEPC values. 2011, 1996. So the ratio is 582 divided by. So can you do 582 divided by 382? 382.
1.52.
1.52. So it will increase by 1.52, but it will decrease by what? 2.6. So 1.5 divided by 2.6. That will be the net change. So what can you calculate that number? Sorry? Well, I think so. So basically, divide that 25,000 by that 0.57. What do you get? Oh, 43,000?
You're on the wrong.
You're on the lower.
This is a different example.
The next question.
It's the one before.
Oh. No. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I think this number is wrong then.
We're finding the smaller.
It's supposed to be
I think maybe you gave me the, well anyway, so, well maybe, I think, no, I asked you to calculate 1 over 5 to the 0.6, that number was, I think, yeah, I gave you something wrong. But anyway, if you calculate this, because the capacity becomes 0.2 to the power 0.6, I think you will basically get the 32,000.
Yeah, the second one is what.
Oh yeah, okay, so 40,500. It's really quite straightforward. Okay, all right, any questions about this? Okay, all right. So now, I'm going to give you another couple of minutes. Anybody have any questions? So really, it's really quite simple. You take capacity into account by power, like cost exponent of 0.6. You take inflation into account by SEPC. Okay. All right. Now, study estimate is more interesting. If you're all kind of getting bored and you all gone to sleep, then wake up. Because the class is about to end, so you can wake up. All right, so the study estimate, in the study estimate, you look at the PFD, you look at it equipment by equipment, you find out the price of each of those equipment and basically add it up, right? That's as simple as it is. However, if you think about it, you want to put in equipment, right? And equipment will cost a certain amount of money. But in addition to have that equipment installed, there are other costs you'll incur, right? Like for what?
Shipping.
Sorry?
Shipping.
Right, we discussed a lot of these costs if you remember a couple of classes back. Right, shipping, labor, materials, insurance, taxes, consulting, engineering costs, right? Sorry?
Waste removal.
No, waste removal will be in the operating costs, right? Because there might be some waste removal by capital while installing as well. But there'll always be some specific costs specific to what you're doing. You can always take care of them separately. But in general, you would think waste removal will be an operating cost. So this is typically are the additional costs you incur. So CP is the cost of the equipment, and FOB is free on board. I don't know the origin of the word free on board. You can look at Google, it will probably tell you. But free on board basically means the actual cost if you go to the vendor and you buy it from him. Over there, he will tell you at my house, my company, I'll give you this price. But of course, you have to then bring it over to your location. So you have to pay the freight charges. We'll talk about the freight charges. In addition to that, when you're putting in equipment, there are a lot of additional material that you would have to use, right? And that material, like piping, insulation, fireproofing, foundations, and all that kind of stuff, that costs are CM, they have to be added up. Of course, you need C labor. Now the material cost, you can assume, material cost will be typically proportional to the cost of the equipment, right? The more the cost of the equipment, more than likely the cost of materials will also be high. The labor cost will be proportional to cost of equipment, but will also be proportional to the cost of materials, right? Because there's a lot of material, somebody has to use that material, right? And so there's labor required for that. So you'll see the labor cost will be proportional to sum of CP and CM. Then there are freight costs, insurance costs, and taxes costs. That goes in this term C fit. Construction overhead, which basically means construction requires labor. Overheads for that labor, as I told you, are fringe benefits such as vacation, sick leave, retirement benefits, etc. And then, of course, you need to hire contractors and engineers. So those are included here. The top three categories add up into direct costs. The bottom three are called indirect costs. Just as the word suggests. I think I'm almost out of time, but I'll do the next slide. In addition to that, there are other fees. Contingency. Contingency simply means if something goes wrong and you need more money than you really do, than you really thought you did. So you have to add that. Contractor fee, because typically you just contract this out. You don't really do all this on your own because there's a lot of hassle. So you typically hire a contractor, so you pay that a fee. So typically it's only those three. But sometimes if you're building a plant in the middle of nowhere, then you might have to pay some auxiliary fees, like site development. So site development are for things like purchase of land, excavation of site, installation of a hookup, electrical and all that stuff. So basically, if you're building a completely new plant where nothing exists, no infrastructure exists, you have to pay for site development. You may have to make auxiliary buildings, like where is your staff going to sit when they're not working, and off-sites and utilities. So these also get added up into auxiliary costs, and these all get added up into the cost of installing the plant. Okay, we'll continue Friday.